Welcome to English class. My name is Mrs. Yosi, and I will be your teacher for the next year. I am excited about us building a learning community together. And I believe in order to flourish as a community, it is important for me to go over the expectations of this classroom. So take a seat and let's get started. Welcome to fall semester of English. In this class, we will practice communicating effectively in English languages, both standard for academic, professional, government, and international use, and non-standard for artistic use, particularly in fiction, poetry, and drama. My classroom expectations. I believe that these are important for you to know so that we may flourish as a community of learners. The first one is respect. In this class, we will show respect to all. I expect respect from all of you as my students, and in turn, I will show all of you respect. I also expect that everyone show respect to your peers and respect for your classroom. Examples of this type of respect are respecting other people's personal space and boundaries. I believe that respecting people's boundaries is important because we need to treat others as we would want to be treated. And that means that you would not want somebody in your personal space. So it's important that you give other people their personal space. Raising your hand to speak. This is also a very important one. I know that each one of you is brilliant. And I'm sure that each one of you has some amazing thoughts and ideas, but it is important that we not all share those ideas at once and instead take turns. So that means raising your hand. Lending support and help to your other classmates when needed. I believe in order for us to have a collaborative community, we must lend support to others who may be in need. Being polite, courteous, and kind to others and treating each person with dignity. I believe this goes without saying, but it's important to be kind to people. And the best way to show that kindness is by being polite and courteous and treating each person with dignity. Keeping our classroom neat and tidy. I believe in order for us to be successful, we must have an environment that is successful. And so that means that we're going to keep this environment peaceful, and neat and tidy is peaceful rather than chaotic. Acting with tact, integrity, bearing, and honesty. This means that you're going to speak in a courteous manner. You are going to act in a way that is of moral and upright standing. You're going to keep your bearing, which means that if you get frustrated in my classroom, you need to have the ability to control yourself and keep a controlled and cool manner in the midst of frustration. And we're going to be honest. Active listening. When I talk, you listen. When you talk, we listen. This means we are going to listen to understand one another, not listening just for the sake of replying. We will also be courteous to the person who is speaking by not speaking while they are speaking. Examples of active listening are being attentive. So this means that when somebody else is speaking, we're going to pay attention to what they're saying. We're going to ask probing questions. So if I'm speaking, I expect that y'all are going to ask questions and we're going to exchange ideas. Requesting clarification. If you're not clear on something, then I expect you to ask for clarification. Paraphrasing what someone stated. In this classroom, we're going to have a lot of discussion and a lot of conversation. And being an active listener means not only listening to reply to someone, but also having the ability to have an understanding of what that person said. So, we're not only going to reply to somebody, but we're also going to paraphrase what that person stated so that person knows that we were actively listening. Being aware of others' feelings and practice empathy. So, we're going to have an awareness that the world doesn't revolve around us and that other people have feelings as well. And we're going to take those feelings into consideration. Active participation. In this classroom, I expect active participation. I want every student to engage with the material they are learning. Examples of active participation in the classroom are participating in class discussion by asking questions, sharing your thoughts and ideas about the material, participating in group or partner activities and adding value to the group. I don't know about you, if you've ever been in a bad group setting or had to learn in a group setting where maybe you were the one to do all of the work. That's not going to happen in this classroom. We will be doing group activities, but not one person is going to shoulder all of the work. So it's important that you participate in your group or partner activities. Practicing good peer evaluation skills by sharing well thought out and positive critiques about another student's work. This is important. I don't want, when you are doing your peer evaluations, when you write your essays or write something for this class and you exchange them with a partner, I do not want you to just write good job or tell the person all the ways that they were grammatically incorrect. That's not good peer eval. In my opinion, you need to explain to them what their strengths were. What did you like about their essay? And then you can critique them by saying one area where you felt like they could have done better or stated it more clearly or something along those lines. But we're not going to just put good job or red ink all over a person's essay that they've worked so hard on. I expect you to give positive written feedback to your peer. Speaking life into your fellow peers by encouraging and helping others to reach their potential. So, in this class, we're not going to shame anybody. We are not going to treat others as though they are beneath us. Instead, we are going to speak life, which means speaking positively over that person. You are going to note what you believe are strong qualities about another individual, and you're going to speak those qualities into existence. Being ready and prepared to learn. I expect you all to come to class with all necessary materials you need for the class, including papers, pencil, books, etc. Being prompt and on time to class. I do not want to fill out tons of tardy slips or have you miss the majority of the class. My time is valuable, and your time is valuable. And so I believe that is of great importance that you show me respect by being on time to this class and ready to learn. That also means saving your text and conversations or social media post or conversation until a time outside of class. I know that each one of you has friends that you want to talk to, or family members, or maybe you want to make a TikTok video, or get on Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat. And all of those are fine and well. But in this classroom, it is time to learn. It is time for me to impart knowledge about the English language to all of you. And it's time for you to be ready and prepared to receive that impartation of knowledge. So it's best if you save those things for a time outside of the class. Coming to class with a positive attitude and being ready to engage with the material presented. I know that not every one of you enjoys English. I don't particularly enjoy math, but I want you all to come to this class believing that maybe you might learn something new today, and believing that I'm not going to just bore you or beat you over the head with literature, but instead give you something that is relatable, something that you can use in your future. So I expect you to come to class with a positive attitude, believing that I'm going to give you something in return for your time. I'm not going to waste your time. I don't want you to waste mine. Do homework assignments when due. I will give an efficient amount of time for all homework to be completed. I expect that within that time for all work to be completed and handed in on time. If for whatever reason you're having a problem turning in an assignment on time, I expect you to come talk to me so that I can help you. I will deduct 5 points for every day it is late, and once you have gone down one letter grade because of lateness, meaning from a potential A to a B, I will ask you to stay after class to converse with me about the matter and see what we can do to help you be more on time with your homework assignments. Use technology wisely. So when we're testing, your technology is to be stored away in a pocket, backpack, or other bag. When I say away, that means that your technology can be accessible, but not in use, and your earphones should be away from your ear. You can use technology for research, and when I say research, it means that when I've instructed for a time for you to do research in the class, that's when you have the ability to use technology. You can also use it to listen to music during work time, not while I'm talking, and not while we're having a class discussion or while one of your peers is talking, but when you are working on your own, then you have the ability to listen to music at a low volume. Technology do's and don'ts. So you may charge your technology as needed, but when your technology is charging, I expect you to return to your seat while it is charging. You can listen to music during work time, and you can use for research as instructed. Don'ts. You may not make phone calls at any time during class. In the event of an emergency, family members should contact students through the school office. You may not be texting, watching videos, making TikToks, or be on any social media outlet. JJ did tie buckle. In this classroom, we will be learning about and applying 14 different leadership traits into our study of English that will guide our thoughts and actions throughout the year. These leadership traits are used by the United States Marine Corps and will be used by us within this classroom to harness and strengthen our leadership skills as individuals and to build our character to ultimately build a cohesive classroom community. The acronym is JJ Did Tie Buckle. J is for justice, being fair and consistent, giving consideration for all sides of each decision, and having rewards and punishments based on merit. In our classroom, that means I will be fair and consistent with each one of you. If you follow classroom expectations, you will be rewarded with praise or prize. However, if you do not follow expectations, you will not be rewarded and instead will pay the consequences. Consequences for not meeting my expectations in the classroom. First offense will be a one-on-one conversation with me. Now, I don't want you to always think that a one-on-one conversation with me is going to be negative, but in this instance, if you're not meeting expectations, it will be. The second infraction is a call home to your parents, and I will be discussing with your parents how we can best support you in the classroom and why you're not meeting these expectations. Third infraction will be a lunch detention with me. The fourth infraction is we will create a behavioral or grade contract, meaning that if your behavior is not to the standards of this classroom, then you will have to sign a contract of agreement that you will change that behavior, and I expect you to take steps to change that behavior. If it is about grades and your grade is lower than a 70 in this classroom, then you will have a grade contract and will have to meet certain expectations to ensure that you do to the contract's agreement. The fifth infraction will be a conversation with your AP. And the fifth. And then a referral to the AP. So just like I stated that it's based on merit, let's just say, for instance, that somebody decides to punch out their fellow classmate. You're going to skip the one-on-one conversation and the call home to parents and the lunch detention and the behavioral grade contract and even the conversation with your AP, and you'll be receiving an automatic referral. So it's all based on the infraction of what it is you did in the class that will determine the consequences that you will face if my expectations of the classroom are not met. Hope everyone understands that. Judgment. The ability to think things through in a clear and orderly fashion so as to make the right decision. I expect you all to use your best judgment in my classroom. Dependability. Having the ability to be relied upon to perform tasks properly and complete work. Always putting in best effort to achieve the highest standards of performance. I want to be able to depend upon you all to put your best foot forward and do the best that you possibly can do in this classroom. I expect that you're going to put your best foot forward. I also expect that if for whatever reason I'm not in class and I have a substitute here, that you will be on your best behavior and that you act in accordance to my classroom expectations, even when I'm not here. Although I don't see myself taking off at all. So, just saying. Initiative. Taking action even if direct orders haven't been given and using resourcefulness to solve problems. So, in my opinion, you are all young adults. I am not your mother, and I should not have to hold your hand to do the things that you know you are responsible to do. So, that is taking initiative, doing things without having to be asked to do things. I expect you all to take initiative. Decisiveness. The ability to make good decisions calmly and quickly and announcing your decisions in a clear and direct and professional manner. Tact. To deal with people in a manner that will maintain good relations and avoid problems. It means you are polite, calm, and firm. Integrity. To be honest and truthful in everything you say and do, and value sound moral principles above all else. So, the definition of moral is knowing between right and wrong. And so I expect all of you to act with great integrity and value sound moral principles above all else. Enthusiasm. Performing of your task with excitement, optimism, and willingness to accept the challenges. So, I don't expect that every day you're going to come in my classroom and be in a super happy mood, because we're all human and we're all going to have bad days. But for the majority of the time, I want you to be enthusiastic to come to my class. Nobody likes a Debbie Downer. And I'm going to come to this class with excitement and optimism and be enthusiastic for all of you. And so, as a trade off, I ask that you show me the same courtesy. Bearing. The way you conduct and carry yourself. Manners should reflect alertness, competence, confidence, and control. So, the best way that I could describe bearing, how many of you are athletes? So, let's just say that you're on a basketball team and you miss a shot, an easy layup in the middle of a very important game. And you get so upset and kind of throw a little hissy fit because of missing the shot. You get mad and angry and stomp your feet. That's a loss of bearing. You just lost your bearing. In this classroom, there may be times that you get frustrated. Maybe you'll get frustrated with the material. Maybe you'll get frustrated with me. Maybe you'll get frustrated with your neighbor. Maybe your neighbor is sitting there tapping their pen on the desk and it's just annoying you. I expect you to conduct yourself with bearing, with control, competence, and confidence. Unselfishness, to be considerate of others, giving credit to those who deserve it, to make self uncomfortable at the gain of others. I think naturally we are selfish. We are selfish creatures. I know I can be, but in this classroom, it's not always about self. It's about the community of learners and creating an environment that is for the good of us all. And so that means being considerate of others, even before yourself at times, and giving credit to those who deserve it. We're going to give snaps and applause when someone does well, and we're going to cheer other people on in this classroom. And so I want you to practice being unselfish. Courage. To remain calm even while recognizing fear. Having the strength to stand up for what is right. Functioning effectively even when faced with fear of the unknown or in the face of opposition. So, courage is not always about being brave. It's about being scared and choosing to do it anyway. There are some things in this classroom that maybe you've never come across before. Maybe you have no idea how to go about analyzing poetry, and that just seems like such a large task to you. I expect you to have the courage to face the task, to dive in, even though you may have no idea what you're doing. Some of you do not like speaking in front of people, but part of this class is learning how to speak efficiently and effectively. And so I'm going to ask you to speak in front of the class. And that might be scary for some of you. But I want you to be able to face that fear with courage and be able to do it anyway. And know that we as your class are going to encourage you and be there for you. Knowledge. An understanding of language, standard American English, reading, art, and people. Knowing your job as a student and the classroom expectations and school policies. I expect that you will all have a thirst for knowledge in this classroom, and that you all want to know new things, learn new things. I know that each one of you may not be the studious type, but knowledge is power. So I expect you to at least have the knowledge of the classroom expectations. The rest will be given to you over this year. The knowledge of standard American English, the knowledge of reading, art, and people. Know your job as a student. Loyalty. Devotion to your school and the classroom community and community all around you. Unwavering loyalty to your family, friends, administration, teachers, and fellow peers in your learning community. So this means that we're not going to badmouth other people, and we are going to show loyalty to those that are standing with us on this journey, to our family, to our friends, to our teachers, to our peers, to the administration. You're going to show loyalty. Endurance. Mental and physical stamina, which is measured by your ability to withstand pain, fatigue, stress, and hardship. So, school can be stressful. Life in general can be stressful, and it can be hard. It can be so tough. But it's not so much about withstanding pain as this definition states, but it's about enduring pain, which means that you you're going to come across pain. You're going to come across fatigue. You're going to come across stress in your life, and you're going to come across hardship. But it's learning to deal with those situations and have endurance to continue to keep going. Now, I do not have the expectation that you will master each one of these traits over the year. However, I believe each one of you have one or two of these traits that are natural strengths to you as an individual. I believe that it is not only my job as your teacher to help you master English, but it is also my job to help you to reach your greatest potential. As one of the voices within your life, I've been given the opportunity to help mold and develop your character. I take that opportunity very seriously. So I believe building upon these leadership skills that you already possess and developing new skills will help you to leave my class not only with the knowledge of the content area of English, but ultimately as a stronger, more well-rounded individual of great character. So, are there any questions about any of the expectations that I've given for this classroom?